It's Hot 1039, 93.9. Super excited. It's Women's History Month, and we definitely have to celebrate and honor our women that have been making great strides in the state of South Carolina. And I have a young lady by my side with me today, and she is absolutely amazing. She's the president and CEO of Nephron Pharmaceuticals Corporation. It is certified woman-owned. And I'm telling you, like, she has a variety of marketing and operational roles at Nephron and created the Nephron National Sales Force. So, Lou, welcome. Hello, hello.
Good morning.
All right. I'm so happy to have you here. And I mean, you have, you're amazing because, like, just looking through your bio and some of the things that you've been recognized for, do you mind if I brag on you for a moment?
No, it's a great way to start my day. Let's hear
it. Okay. So I just want to, recognize some of the achievements that you received in business and leadership. So, Governor Henry McMaster's actually appointed you to what they call Accelerate SC, and that's the state's coordinated COVID-19 advisory and recovery team. So can you tell me just a little bit about that?
Yes, it was, there were a group of us from all across the state, some in philanthropy, some in trade associations, and then also business owners. And we came together to give our recommendations and discuss where we thought the CARES Act money should go and the ARPA funds money should go, and how could we make an impact on the state that would matter in even 20 years from now, not just today. So we looked at the money as if we could transform South Carolina. And if we had that question in front of us, how best could we do that? And so it was a great opportunity to get to know other leaders throughout the state. And frankly, I'm sorry it's not a year-round thing that we need to do. Not that we want that much more money, but just that it's such a good group. I mean, I really became friends with, for example, Helen Hill, who does tourism in Charleston, and she really made a difference, even in spite of people not traveling during COVID, and enjoyed working with my friend James Bennett and Bob Hughes and others, Bobby Williams from Lizard's Thicket, lots of good folks on the panel or in the group. And, we said it was, those were the COVID heat of COVID days. And we each had our own, 6-foot table, and we sat, far apart in a giant room at the Alumni Center in Columbia. And it was really, it was good to be with others during that time when we were all remote, but safely, and we were able to give good recommendations. And I think it was, all of our suggestions were adopted. And so I think we did a good job. And I think the state legislature appreciated that we were speaking and having a voice for South Carolinians.
Absolutely. So that sounds like an amazing experience. And like you said, hopefully maybe one day they will definitely pick that up and reconvene. It's just the betterment of the community as a whole. So we want to also talk about, you were actually given the Business Leader of the Year by the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce, and this was in 2020. Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Regional Award. You got the Outstanding Leadership Award for the National Association of Manufacturers. Also, you are a member of the Columbia Urban League Board, and you also were a recipient of the Urban League's award on impact on education. You received South Carolina's highest civilian honor, the Order of the Palmetto, from then Governor Nikki Haley, in recognition of a lifetime outstanding service. And I mean, look, the list just goes on and on and on and on. You're such a dynamic woman, and you've done so many things, and you are a proud alumni of the University of South Carolina. So go Gamecocks. And so are you originally from South Carolina?
Yes, I'll say yes, because my father was transferred here when I was 2. So I was raised here right in Lexington County. I'm working in Lexington County. I live in Lexington County. This is my hood.
Right. Okay. And, under your leadership at Nephron, you've experienced like unprecedented growth. I mean, you have a company that has nearly 2,000 employees, and you guys create billions of doses of life-serving or life-saving medications annually. So if you could tell me a little bit about some of the medications that you actually produce at Nephron.
So if you know anybody with asthma or emphysema, we make those nebulizer medications. So if you have a little piece of equipment like this, we make this pocket neb in Columbia, put the medication in, and take a breathing treatment, and that helps open your airways and you can breathe. So Those things we've been making for over 20 years. And then we also make about 150 different sterile injectable drugs, things that put you to sleep, things that wake you back up, opioid-free pain treatment, lots of different, a variety of different things. And most recently, in the last 10 or 11 weeks, we've hired 3,500 new part-time workers to put together at-home test kits for Abbott Laboratories and a company called Celtrion. So we are happy to be doing that and helping to make a difference in these still painful COVID times. And so we're doing a lot of different things here. And I'm proud to say that we are legal drug dealers and we're doing an okay job taking care of patients across America.
No, I would have to say that you're doing better than okay. So what, like, you know, when you just mentioned what you were doing, it's like you're almost like a futurist. And so how are you and your team, like, you know, you figure out, okay, what is the next cutting edge thing that we need to do as far as pharmaceuticals are concerned? How do you guys like approach that?
Well, after COVID was really in the height of it, that first March, I said, we're going to have a molecular biology lab so we can do the testing of our own patient, our own employees, and keep them healthy and safe, and we'll help the community. So that led to the fact that we bought all this equipment and set up a diagnostic testing lab. Now, since I did that and we spent the money, we're going to expand that, and we're going to do all kinds of diagnostic testing, just the same as when you go to your doctor and they say, I want to check for cholesterol, I want to check for this, that, and the other. That was all because of my big bleeding heart and wanting to do what's right during COVID. And the same thing, I said, you know what, we should fill vaccines here. Now, I don't have a vaccine maker inked to work with, but I bought the equipment. We have just gotten the certificate of occupancy from the county on New Year's Eve. We are in the midst of moving into a new wing where we can do chemotherapeutic agents, biologics, and antibiotics and vaccines. And so it's just, I don't know, I have a big old heart and I want to do things for people. And I said, you know what? We should do this in America. At the same time, some friends of mine in Columbia said, you know, we don't have enough PPE. We all experienced that. So they said, what about having a nitrile glove plant? So believe it or not, in the next 2 or 3 months, we're opening up Nephron nitrile glove plant in my same park just down the street. Right. And I said, you know what? We have such an awkward, hard time to get syringes. So things like these syringes. So we're going to start making our own syringes, caps, these plunger rods, all of that. And that opens up sometime in the next couple of months. So I think it's just, we look at what's going on around us and we react and we say, how could we be a part of the solution? And that over the last couple of years has really governed what we're doing about new products, new ideas, and solutions to issues that we're facing. And we are really, really proud that we can say we're bringing PPE to South Carolina. We're bringing medical devices to South Carolina. We are not going to be dependent on China. By God, if I can help it.
You know what? And that, like, that within itself is just, it's not only amazing, but it's inspiring. And the fact that you actually, even with your team there, and, you know, people are mentioning different things to you, that you take that into consideration. And then, you know, you basically kind of just flush it out and you make it happen. And I just think that you guys are doing such an amazing work at Nephron Pharmaceuticals, and, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. And so the last thing that I wanted to ask you is, you know, you mentioned about you having a big heart, and I know that that inspires you to continue to do what you do and the work that you do there. And so what are some words to live by, you know, where you can encourage, inspire, and motivate someone that's looking at this?
I always copy my friend Kim Wilkerson, who is the president of Bank of America, South Carolina. We must, as women, lift as we climb. We have got to think of those folks and bring them along with us. I also think that we shouldn't ever worry about hiring a male, a female, an African-American, an Indian, an Asian. We should hire the best person for every job and be agnostic to their race, color, creed, and all of that. We need the best person for any job that we have here. And I really live by those words. I believe in all of the diversity, equity, inclusion that's not just the thing that we should talk about after George Floyd. That's the thing that we should be committed to forever. And that's something I pride myself on here. We're 53% women. We have more than 35% African Americans at our company, which is bigger than the state average. And I don't set out to do that every day. It has happened organically. And I believe it's because I'm a woman in a non-traditional role. And people look at that as if, hey, well, if she can do it, we can do it. And so we tend to collect a big, old, diverse family, and we make a really beautiful fabric here, if you can use that word.
Absolutely. Well, you know, what's also interesting as well is I think when people may see your name on paper, they're going to automatically assume that you are a man. Until they... So was that strategic in you doing that?
Well, my parents wanted a boy. I had a blue nursery. They never changed it. They gave me a man's name. I'm an only child. Maybe they had something in mind. They knew I'd end up doing things that are traditionally done by men. I don't know. I've learned in the last few years of my life just to embrace being a Lou. It's not short for anything. It's just they wanted a guy, and here I am. So.
Wow, isn't that something? Wow, the little known fact about you. So again, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day. We just, you know, here at Hot 103.9, 93.9 and our parent company, Alpha Media, you know, we just wanted to honor and recognize you for Women's History Month and the strive that you... Oh, you're absolutely welcome.
And just go ahead and tell your listeners we're hiring. We'd love to have you. Come on down.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we'll definitely do that. As you know, we've been showing the website, and we'll make sure we have a link to your website where people can actually go and, you know, they're seeking employment. Definitely, you know, and like you said, you're about, you know, hiring people that are best for the job. So we honor you for that. And thank you so much for being a woman of history here in South Carolina.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. This is a huge honor. And everybody stay tuned to 103.9 and 93.9. It's hot, on fire.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.